In the ancient veins of the Western Second Classic stands a silent peak. Here the life upon Mount Qian has been stolen, for the mountain's soul reigns supreme. Mountains framed as one conceal a murderous intent. Sulfide and stomach acid ignite into a venomous fire. The honey badger, with its venomous fate, licks the mineral poison, only because parasites are devouring its organs. The entire pool has pierced the line of sight. At this moment, it fails to churn like a crucible. The sulfide is reacting madly with the stomach acid. Traitor, this is not magic. It is a chemical death sentence. The blue flame of burning sulfur reaches 500 degrees, yet it only scorches the ground, harming not the anxious. Mount Qian bestowed upon it bones of copper. It repays with raging fire. The classic of mountains and seas tells that jade is found beneath Mount Qian, but the most precious jade here breathes. It disguises its offspring as jade stones. Every single grain is a crystallization of 1,000 mountains. It chooses the embrace of jade because stone remembers the primordial form of life. The gamble for survival on Mount Qian writes its cruel final chapter in the setting sun. Together we journey 200 leagues to the west. Welcome to Mount Taimao. This colossal ridge, which divides Yin and Yang, forges the bloodlines of the earth into two distinctly different gifts. The southern rock veins flow with the essence smelted by the sun. The northern slope's ore layers hold the iron soul condensed from the blackest night. And right between the clashing cliffs of gold and iron, the first pulse of the Luo River was born. This river, carrying the spirit of Mount Taimao, rushes eastward, and with a final resolute posture, crashes into the turbid waves of the Yellow River. But the true secret of the Luo River is hidden in the fatal dance of the White Serpent and the Patterned Jade. When the midday sun pierces the water's surface, the serpent hordes, like arrows loosed from a bow, shoot towards the jade asang. They gnaw upon the mineral moss covering the jade surface. On the night of the full moon, the white serpents take the patterned jade as their altar, pressing their shed, transparent skins deep into the stone's crevices. These empty sheaths dissolve upon contact with water, etching new colorful patterns upon the jade surface. The so-called patterned jade is in fact the living epitaph of the white serpent's millennial transformation. With their lives, they complete the final ritual, turning flesh and blood into the eternal ornamentation of mountains and rivers. 170 leagues to the west, the lava veins of Mount Qian have already pierced through the rock layers. Before this silver heat is cooled, we turn again northwest for 50 leagues. The icy blades of the high mountains have sealed it. It is called the swift cloud tide. Before the ice and snow have settled, we push west again for 300 leagues. Mount Nüchuang is reached. This is a majestic giant on the westward journey. The blood of Nüchuang, beyond its metal and stone, is further hidden in this thick, inescapable northern gloom. This is the kingdom of beasts. Every step is taken on the razor's edge of life and death. law of darkness is brutally shattered. From the southern slope, a splendor not of this mortal world, tears through the ancient haze. It is the most magnificent enigma between heaven and earth. Its wings spontaneously burn with a pure sacred flame. Its cry is solidified blood. The tiger's roar ceases. The violent howl congeals. Violence is frozen by the light. Wildness is tamed by the gentle call. Its descent is Mount Nüchuang's deepest secret. Its most dazzling spectacle. It flies to the summit, spreading a tranquil radiance over every inch of land once ruled by savagery. 200 leagues to the west, we pass Mount Langshu, where brothers are subdued. Black clouds press down from above. The peaks are like blades. This place is a perilous passage. One cannot linger. In the cool white distance, the blood-red body of Mount Lai. At the summit of the altar, this deathly stillness is ominous. In this labyrinth that even fierce beasts avoid, lives a true master of armor, the Baihao. Every hard quill gleams with the cold light of bone, each one barbed, forming a moving death trap. An invader has arrived. One step further means 10,000 arrows through the heart. Hubris is often the shortest path to destruction. This is the hardest law of Mount Lai. When dusk stains Mount Lai, an omen deeper than the night itself often descends. It stands atop a lonely peak, waiting or perhaps summoning. The Fuxi, its posture is solemn to the point of being eerie. What is it gazing at? The distance, or the trajectory of fate? It is calling its own name. This is not a mating call. It is a war song. For millennia, the mountain spirits pale at this sound. Over the years, it has become an ironclad law. When the Fuxi calls its own name, war is imminent. The beacons are about to be lit. It is the trumpet of war, foretelling the fire and blood of the mortal realm. The tale of Mount Lai ends for now. Now we proceed 200 miles to the southwest. The sharp peaks of Mount Lai are like inverted giant awls. We do not linger. We continue westward for 400 leagues. Mount Qian is before us. The white jade and red copper produced in the mountain are but footnotes to its history. What truly gives this mountain a prominent place in the classic of mountains and seas is a name within the mountain that has almost become taboo, the Zhuyan. Our purpose in this arduous journey is to attempt to capture its traces, to understand this ancient warning. The wind whispers through the stone crevices, carrying an uneasy tremor. The air is thick with a tense anticipation. We tread lightly. The Zhuyan audiate is nearby. Its form is as agile as an ape's. But most striking is the strange coloration of its fur. A white head and crimson feet. So vivid. Such contrasting colors, converged upon a single living being. The strangeness of the Zhuyan extends far beyond its appearance of mingled ice and fire, and its fleeting, untraceable movements. Its most terrifying aspect is hidden deep within the word-of-mouth tales, branded on bamboo slips, and the ancient warnings on oracle bones. When the shadow of the Zhuyan manifests clearly before the eyes of the world, the realm will plunge into great turmoil and chaos. The silhouette of Mount Xiaoxi gradually sinks into the profound vastness. But the exploration of the Western Second Classic is far from over. Our gaze must continue to extend westward. "300 leagues to the west, we pass Mount Dasi. Its massive form, as if the earth here has gathered a deeper power, remains silent. Another 400 leagues to the west, Mount Zunwu comes into view. Its ancient bones are bleached under the sun, silently narrating the scorching heat and hardness of the westward road. Continuing west for 400 leagues, the outline of Mount Qian looms indistinct in the mist, casting a hazy veil over this land. Another 250 leagues to the west, we arrive at Mount Zhongshu. Before we have dismounted, the wind already carries the resonant calls of 100 beasts, proclaiming the untamed prosperity and wildness of this place. Another 500 leagues to the west, the imposing figure of Mount Huangren stands against the sky, inspiring awe in all who behold it. Continuing west for 300 leagues, the flowing form of Mount Zhonghuang presses down upon the horizon. When one looks up, one unconsciously holds their breath. Finally, after flying west for another 350 leagues, we have reached Mount Xihuang. Mount Xihuang's southern slopes hold gold. Its northern slopes conceal iron. It is a treasury of the earth. But traversing this framework of gold and iron, the most heart-shaking sight is not the slumbering treasures, but the living miracle that walks upon it. The Yin Yu. They are not ordinary mountain cattle. They are unique creatures forged by this very heaven and earth. This aged bull, the patterns on its horns are the deepest. It was once the king of this land. Its gait, though slow, is steady. And this young king, standing atop the giant rock, he is the current walking spine of Mount Xihuang. His horn is the invisible throne of this mountain wilderness. Following the decree of the classic of the Western Mountains, 350 leagues to the west, is the only path to Mount Lai. Mount Lai has no strange beasts, no whirling, violent mountain aura. Its presence stems from a suffocating density, a stillness hidden deep beneath the ink green. But this stillness is an illusion. It is the bated breath of death. Tan trees form its bones, cold and forbidding, Gao vines are its veins, entangled and symbiotic. Together they have woven this sun-blotting green cage. Light here is a luxury. And the true master of this place has just issued a warning. The luo-luo bird, the man-eater recorded in the classic of mountains and seas. Behold its iron-gray plumage, a deathly camouflage that blends into the shadows. Listen to its rending cry. A death knell proclaiming its sovereignty. That fleeting glimpse of its giant talons, curved like iron hooks, gleams with a butcher's cold light. They are in the dark places, behind every impenetrable veil of night. 3 days ago, a small team that had ventured deep into Mount Qian and withdrawn made camp at dusk. The bonfire had just died down when the night watchman felt a foul wind on his face. Looking up, a huge dark shadow, like a phantom, swooped down over the tents. The Western Second Classic, beginning from Mount Qian, concludes at Mount Lai in the west. It spans a majestic 4,140 leagues. Each mountain conceals fine jade, each harbors strange beasts, together composing the ancient scroll of the western mountains and rivers. And their guardians are not the familiar deities and immortals we know, but a group of spirits more primitive, even somewhat ferocious in appearance. They are the primordial mountain lords of this land. The ancient texts sketch for us two astonishing portraits. One group of these mountain gods, their faces are faintly discernible as human, but their bodies are fused with those of swift steeds. Human face, horse body. They gallop like the wind. But even more striking is another group of rulers. They have human faces in the bodies of oxen, with the strength to uproot mountains. However, the creator seems to have played a peculiar jest here. They have only one arm, and this single arm tightly grips a scepter-like wooden staff. These seemingly bizarre combinations are not meaningless fantasies. The ox and the horse were the sources of strength and speed upon which the ancient people depended for survival. They are the totems of the intertwined nomadic and agrarian cultures of the northwestern lands.